Have you ever realized that there is a massive black hole at the very beginning of your life? You have photos of your second birthday. You have stories told by your parents about your first words. But you weren't actually there, or at least you don't remember being there. It's the greatest collective amnesia in human history. Every single one of us has lost the first 3 years of our existence. It's as if the you before age 3 was a completely different person who lived, breathed, and then simply evaporated. Today, let's go back. Let's try to find that missing person. Close your eyes. Try to recall the very first thing that happened in your life. Maybe it was falling in the park and scraping your knee at age 4. Or maybe it was that split second of blowing out candles on your 3rd-and-a-half birthday. It's a fractured, blurry image, like a faded old photograph. But what about before that first photo? What happened during the first 3 years of your life? Those first 1,000 days and nights? Your mind is an absolute blank. It's as if you are a TV series that only started airing in season 4, and the master tapes for the first 3 seasons were mysteriously burned. This is actually a massive evolutionary paradox. Between the ages of 0 and 3, humans experience their most powerful learning phase. The brain is operating at its peak intensity. In these 3 years, you learned how to control your muscles, how to walk upright, how to understand gravity, and how to decipher an incredibly complex language. You even learned how to manipulate adults just by crying. You downloaded the entire core operating system required to survive in this world. And yet, the moment the system successfully booted up, your brain hit empty trash. You remember how to walk, but not the sting of falling when you took that first step. You remember the word mama, but not the profound shock of seeing her face clearly for the very first time. Over 100 years ago, Sigmund Freud was the first to notice this phenomenon. He guessed that humans forget infancy because it's filled with repressed, disturbing, subconscious traumas. To protect us, the brain locks them all away in a subterranean basement of the mind. It sounds dark and, honestly, pretty cool. But modern neuroscience tells us Freud was wrong. You didn't forget those first 3 years because you were trying to escape something. You forgot them because, at that time, your brain was undergoing an incredibly violent physical reconstruction. To understand how memories are lost, we first have to find an organ in the brain shaped like a seahorse, the hippocampus. Think of it as the brain's save button. When you experience something, the information goes to the hippocampus first for processing, and only then is it packaged and sent to the cerebral cortex to be stored forever as a long-term memory. But here's the problem. When you're born, this save button isn't even built yet. During the first 3 years of life, your hippocampus is like a construction site still under scaffolding. You are experiencing this brand new wild world in 4K clarity every single day. But when you try to save those images, you realize your brain doesn't even have a formatted hard drive. And so, those memories simply vanish like water vapor, appearing for a few seconds, then evaporating completely. But the story doesn't end there. The truly brutal part is the brain's physical overwrite mechanism. In infancy, your brain is undergoing a Big Bang-level event called neurogenesis. Your brain is growing new neurons at a terrifyingly fast pace. Sounds great, right? More brain cells mean you're smarter. But in the physical world, space is limited. When you build a brand new 12-lane highway through a crowded city, you inevitably have to bulldoze the ancient streets and the old houses. This is what neuroscience calls neurogenesis-induced forgetting. Every time you learn a new skill vital for survival, like how to walk upright or how to parse complex grammar, the explosive growth of new neurons physically cuts and overwrites the neural circuits where those early memories lived. You didn't forget your life before age 3 by accident. You were programmed to forget. To build the adult self that can think and read these words today, you had to personally burn down the little village of your infancy. Your early memories didn't mysteriously disappear. They simply became the construction materials for your higher intelligence. Even if your infant brain somehow managed to save a few stray memories, the you of today would be completely unable to read them. Why? Because the underlying logic of your operating system has been totally replaced. You see, the folders humans use to store long-term memories are made of language. Think about how you remember things now. I met a friend at a cafe yesterday. That sentence has a subject, a time, a place, and concrete concepts. But a 6-month-old baby has none of these words. The world they experience is a pure, unnamed storm of senses. A specific slant of light, the temperature of a mother's skin, the sweetness of milk. When you learned language around age 2 or 3, your brain underwent a forced system upgrade. From that moment on, every memory had to be encoded using language. Those old files recorded in pure sensation became incompatible formats, corrupted data that you can no longer open. But even that isn't the deepest truth. The reason you don't remember what happened to you before age 2 is because at that time, you didn't exist yet. In psychology, there is a famous experiment called the mirror test. If you sneakily put a red dot on a baby's nose and let them look in a mirror, an infant under 18 months will reach out to touch that person in the glass. To them, it's just another creature. It's only around age 2 that they suddenly reach for their own nose. In that moment, something profound happens in the universe. This little human realizes, for the very first time, that I am an entity independent of the world. I am separate from Mama. There is a boundary between me and everything else. Psychologists call this the prerequisite for autobiographical memory. Think about it. If there is no author, how could you possibly write an autobiography? So when you try to look back at yourself before the age of 3, you are actually searching for a ghost that no longer exists. From birth to age 3, that tiny creature experienced countless falls, scares, bursts of ecstasy, and the very first flickers of love for this world. They endured all the growing pains. They mastered the impossible task of walking upright. They cracked the secret code of human language. And then, at the very moment the self finally woke up, the moment the neural highways were complete, that little creature quietly stepped off the stage. They handed over every skill, every antibody, and every muscle memory to the you of today. And then, taking all their memories with them, they vanished into the void of your subconscious. You are a skyscraper built upon ruins. Buried in your foundation is a stranger you will never truly know. So the next time you see a baby on the street staring blankly at a leaf or suddenly bursting into tears, look at them with a sense of awe. You are watching an explorer living in a temporary world. Everything they experience right now, the beauty and the pain, will eventually be completely forgotten. But that's okay. It is precisely because of their forgetting that you are able to remember. Because that little creature was willing to surrender their entire story, you can stand here today and know, with absolute clarity, exactly who you are.